Trucks used to be built to last a lifetime. Now they are only built to last the warranty. Ford, GM, and Stellantis tripled prices while reliability collapsed. 7 years of payments, just 3 years of coverage. Nobody wants an overpriced, poorly built truck. So why is this happening? 15 years ago, the average new pickup truck cost under $25,000. Today, that same truck costs over $60,000. That's not inflation. Inflation only accounts for maybe 30% of that gap. The rest is something else entirely, and understanding what that something else is will change how you see every truck on a dealership lot. Start with the warranty. When you sign for a new truck today, you are almost certainly signing a loan that runs 6 or 7 years. The manufacturer warranty runs 3 years or 36,000 miles. Think about what that means. The company that built the truck is only willing to stand behind it for 3 years. The bank is happy to charge you for 7. That gap is not accidental. It is the product of a very deliberate calculation. Consumer Reports has tracked truck reliability for decades. Between 2020 and 2024, full-size pickup truck reliability scores dropped 4 consecutive years across Ford, GM, and Stellantis combined. Ford's F-150 with the twin turbocharged V6 engine recorded some of the lowest powertrain reliability scores in its segment during that window. The Ram 1500 EcoDiesel was hit with fuel pump recalls covering 60,000 vehicles across the 2020 to 2022 model years, with failures happening without warning while driving. The pattern is not one bad model year. It is a trend moving in one direction while the sticker price moves in the other. The V8 Disappearance is central to this story. For most of the 20th century, the V8 engine was the backbone of American truck culture. It was simple, serviceable, and built to last 200,000 miles in the hands of an owner who did basic maintenance. Manufacturers spent the last decade systematically replacing it with smaller, turbocharged engines. Not because buyers stopped wanting it, owner surveys consistently show V8 preference running well ahead of the turbocharged alternatives. They replaced it because the new engines are more complex, more expensive to repair, and more dependent on dealer servicing. A turbocharged 4-cylinder with direct injection requires specialized tools and software to diagnose. A 5-liter V8 does not. That complexity is not a bug, it is a feature. Planned obsolescence inside a modern truck goes deeper than the engine. Manufacturers have migrated core vehicle functions onto software platforms that require dealer-level diagnostic tools to access. Want to reset an airbag sensor? Dealer. Want to recalibrate the transmission? Dealer. Want to replace a headlight on a new Ram 1500? On certain trim levels, it requires removing the front bumper. That is not an engineering necessity. That is a design decision, and it was made by someone whose bonus depends on dealer service revenue. The dealer markup layer is where the extraction becomes almost satirical. In the comment sections of every major truck video on YouTube, the same story repeats. A viewer walks into a dealership looking at a $60,000 truck and walks out having been quoted $70,000 after the add-on sheet appears. Nearly $2,000 for a spray-in bed liner that cost the dealer $400. Nearly $2,000 for running boards, $900 for a blackout package that is a set of decals. These are not optional features. They are pre-installed on the vehicle before it arrives, and the dealer presents them as non-negotiable. Consumer protection law in most states offers no recourse. You either pay or you leave. And if you do leave, the next dealership is running the same playbook. Quality control at the assembly plant level has deteriorated in step with everything else. Line speed increases implemented across Ford, GM, and Stellantis plants through the early 2020s pushed vehicles through production faster than quality checkpoints could catch defects. Ram alone recalled over 1.2 million 1500 pickups in 2024 for electronic stability control failures. Ford has logged repeated recalls on the F-150 for electrical fires and fuel system defects. These are not random manufacturing errors. They are the downstream result of a system that prioritized throughput over quality. Here is what none of this explains on its own. If trucks are getting worse, and buyers know they are getting worse, and the comment sections of every truck video on YouTube are full of people saying they are keeping their old trucks forever, then why are the manufacturers posting record profits? Ford Motor Company reported net income of $4.3 billion in 2023. General Motors reported $10.1 billion. Stellantis reported 18.6 billion euros in net profit, a new record. These are not the numbers of companies that are losing customers. These are the numbers of companies that have cracked a code, and the code has three parts. The first part is captive demand. There is no substitute product for a buyer who needs a full-size work truck. A contractor cannot swap to a sedan. A farmer cannot haul equipment in a crossover. The manufacturers know that however bad the product gets, the people who need trucks will keep buying trucks. That removes price sensitivity from the equation entirely. When the buyer has no exit, the seller sets the price. The second part is payment psychology. When 6-year and 7-year loan terms became standard across the industry, the purchase decision stopped being about the total price and started being about the monthly payment. The difference between a $40,000 truck and a $60,000 truck disappears when it is spread across 84 monthly installments. Manufacturers and dealers figured this out and raised prices to whatever ceiling monthly payment psychology would absorb. The sticker price became irrelevant. The payment is the product. The third part is the ecosystem. The truck is no longer just a vehicle. It is the entry point to a recurring revenue stream. Every dealer service visit, every software subscription, every pre-installed accessory, every warranty extension, every financing arrangement generates revenue. The manufacturer captures long after the sale. The worse the truck performs, the more service visits it requires. The more complex the systems, the more dealer-dependent the owner becomes. Declining quality does not hurt the business model. In some ways, it feeds it. That is why reliability scores and profit margins move in opposite directions. It is not a contradiction. It is the strategy. Nothing about this is changing. Experian data shows the average new vehicle loan term has now crossed nearly 70 months and is still climbing. BMW drew global headlines in 2022 for charging drivers $18 a month to activate heated seats already built into vehicles they owned. The backlash was massive. The practice did not stop. It expanded. Right to repair legislation that would give owners legal access to their own vehicle diagnostic systems has been lobbied against aggressively by the Auto Alliance across multiple states. The next generation of trucks will lock more features behind paywalls and require more dealer dependency than the trucks sitting on lots today. The buyer has less leverage with each model year. The manufacturers have more, and the ceiling on how much the market will absorb has still not been found. Trucks used to be built for the people who needed them. That is no longer the primary design objective. The objective now is to extract the maximum amount of money from a buyer who has no real alternative for a product the manufacturer is only willing to stand behind for 3 years. Nobody wants an overpriced, poorly built truck. The record profits suggest somebody forgot to tell the manufacturers that. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and watch the next video above.